from partner violence, from being married off too soon, from being taken out of their schools. I mean, women and girls are really the ones that are facing the most challenges in this time of a million different climate crises.
Yo, hey, what we gon' slap today? Yo, hey, what we gon' slap today?
Yes, yes, yes. The world may not need another podcast, but it can definitely use a slap. That's right. Welcome to Slap the Power, the show that lifts artists who use their powers for positive progress. I'm Rick Barrio-Dill.
And I'm Asia Nakia.
That's right. On the show today, we catch up on the fight that wasn't. Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
And then we hit our animal rescue segment, Pause for Progress, and hear about Franny Fran, Compassion Kind's longest resident who was just adopted.
Oh, Franny Fran. All right. Then we talk about climate inequities for women. Did you know, 80% of people displaced by climate change are women? Woof.
And then in our newest segment, Compassion Corner, we're going to talk through deworming puppies with our senior producer, Bree.
That's right. If you're new to being a mom or dad, you gotta, there's certain things you gotta know. So we're gonna drop that. And a little later, we'll tap our resident Gen Z correspondent, Asher Friedberg, in a new segment called Make This Ish Make Sense, where we take unexplainable things that are somehow the most trending things in our world online, while at the same time, Dr. Oz is now in charge of your Medicaid. So, yeah, sure. But first, Asia, how are you? How was your weekend? Did you watch the Mike Tyson-Jake Paul fight?
I had to watch, which, I'm not, like I mentioned on the last episode, I'm not too big into fighting.
Yeah.
I live a very nonviolent life. Even when it's a sport, it's still hard for me to watch anyone get hit or suffer. But I suffered through this one because I was just too curious and I just wanted to know. And it was, I think the whole time I was saying to myself, just don't die. No one die. You know? So every round, that's what I was saying.
Yeah.
But I was kind of impressed they made all 8 rounds. I didn't think that was going to happen when I started to see those knees moving around on Tyson.
It's funny, there's a lot of takes online about this because a lot of people just think the fix was in and everything. And I think there's probably good reason to look at that fight and say that. And not that we're aficionados at all. Actually, I think that's the benefit to our vantage on it, is that it was kind of what I was hoping it wasn't going to be, which is when you throw these big sort of, not fully sanctioned fights or things like that where there's just a lot of money involved. Tyson, it was like there were several times where if you've seen him train, you're like, yeah, that he wasn't bringing what he brought to training to the fight. And so there's good reason to kind of say, and who knows anymore. I mean, I don't even know what is up, what is down. It's hard to tell, but I'm with you. It was like I was expecting a little bit more. I think a lot of people were, and it was, even at only 2 minutes instead of 3 minutes around, it was like you would hope that would be more explosive, and for some reason it wasn't. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, that game. It was like back when I was a kid. I'm probably aging myself here, but yeah, what was it? Sock and popper.
Rock'em sock'em.
Rock'em sock'em.
Yeah.
They're just like going like this, and it's just like tick for tack, tick for tack.
Yeah.
But it was just very like chill. There was really no big moment. But also I felt like Tyson really couldn't get a punch in because Jake Paul's just so much taller and like his arms are so long. So I don't know.
I feel like Tyson could have.
He could have, but
it wasn't.
Now, if it was completely staged, of course. Like if they already had the outcomes, $80 million on the table, whatever.
More? Yeah.
But I will say I'm still really upset about the fight before that.
Oh my God! I know. I was going to bring. Thank you for bringing that up. That was.
Make that one make sense to me, please.
Yes.
Because the
Serrano
points.
won.
Serrano won. Period.
Period. Hands down.
The board had the numbers on it.
Right.
Can someone explain to me how those numbers being higher for Serrano meant that she loses?
Yeah. No, that's a great question. I haven't even seen that. I haven't seen that online. If you have a theory on why, because she got ripped off the first time, that was the reason why to have this fight now, and to have the same thing kind of happen again. It was like you weren't watching the same fight. And again, please leave it in the comments. Let us know what your take is on that, because again, it makes me just think that, like, what can we trust? What
It's like
can you bank on?
Yeah, it's like sport is supposed to be like this beacon of fairness, and and then that fight just. I mean, and missing 1 point. She got 1 point deducted for that headbutt.
Right.
One.
Right.
And she does it every time.
Yeah.
Like, it's like her token move, which is not
and it was
allowed.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was very upsetting. And again, Puerto Rico getting another smack in the face. Like, it's just every time.
Come on. I mean, Jake Paul's already from there. That's a bad enough smack in the face right there, right?
That, when he announced where he was coming from, I was like,
yeah.
But originally from Cincinnati. I'm just putting that out there.
Hey, that's the way it goes down. We introduced a segment a couple weeks back called Pause for Progress, which is really, really, it's near and dear to not only our hearts, but sort of everybody, all of our clients and all of our customers and things like that. And so please update us on Franny and the Compassion Kind's longest living resident who was just adopted. Come on, that's cool. Give me the goods. Give me the goods.
Yeah. So I mean, this is so big that I don't even think that I've let it like sink in really.
Yeah.
But before, so Franny was a foster of mine, and that's because she was probably one of our most misunderstood dogs. Came off a little, big pity. Comes off a little aggressive with new folks, but really she just needs to get to know you, hear your voice, kind of get used to her, new surroundings.
Yeah.
But anyways, Franny has been with us since Hurricane Laura, which was back in September of 2020.
Wow.
So we've had Franny for 4 years, and she's just been sitting in foster care, waiting for her forever family.
Pandy baby.
I mean, yeah. And she's just the sweetest little girl ever. I completely adored her. She was my foster for a very long time. And when I moved, it was my biggest fear of what I was going to do with Franny when I left Florida.
Oh, wow.
And one of my friends stepped up.
Hey.
And she decided to adopt her. And we made her official yesterday, which is, I mean, you fight and you fight every day for these kind of things to happen. I never thought Franny was going to get adopted. So big news for us.
That's a big W. And one of the things we wanted to do with the show, kind of where we're sitting now, is also deal with things that everybody can agree on, and everybody can agree on. Getting Franny a forever home is really, really, really dope. What is next as far as in Pause for Progress, and what is your biggest challenge that you have right now on deck?
I mean, I think the biggest challenge for us right now is the big F, which is funding.
Yeah.
We've since COVID, we've seen a decline in donations, but really, and especially expanding into the Los Angeles area, this is a whole new arena for us. So we're still in this, transition phase of finding the vets we want to work with, finding fosters. But yeah, really the funding has been tough lately because we've had so many crazy cases. I mean, dogs hit by cars and abandoned, dogs shot in the back. We've had a couple cases where we need like amputations, and it's very, very, very costly. So, those have been our biggest struggles, but also I'm very hopeful and excited to be in the LA area. There's, such a huge need for rescue here, which really surprised me, but I feel like we've kind of like found our niche here.
Yeah.
So hopefully the funding will follow, but there's a lot of work to be done in this area, which inspires me,
If people want to get involved or be able to help, how can they do? How can they do that?
I mean, so many ways, but first stop is compassionkind.org. You can learn more about us. All of our links are there. You can find us on social media, all the Instagrams, Facebooks, TikToks. We've got them all.
At Compassion Kind.
At Compassion Kind. Yep.
Yeah.
Across the board.
And we'll even have the links in our show notes. So,
yes.
Yeah, that's great. Matt, props, and we'll take the W anywhere we can get it.
That's a big one. So,
yeah,
yes.
That's a big one. So congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, we're going to hit on how climate change in this sort of new uncharted territory that we're entering into, how it disproportionately affects women, and why this is something that we need to pay attention to together. So we'll see you after the break.
Gambling is part of the culture of America, since even before we were America. I'm Norman Chad. I know gambling. I've played blackjack and poker. I've bet sports and horse races. I've even hit the slot machines at a Pahrump, Nevada 7-Eleven. You say gambling, I say gambling mad. So join me on Gambling Mad with Norm and Chad, wherever you find your podcasts. Follow us on socials at Gambling Mad Show or at Gambling Mad Norm and Chad at YouTube.
So the climate crisis has a collective problem, and its impacts do not fall across us equally. Women and girls often bear the heaviest burdens, and recently, you brought this to my attention, which was, we're always trying to sort of, there's inequities everywhere, but how and why? I think people a lot of times are trying to figure out what is the relationship to me and my life. And when you hit this story, it makes a lot of sense that actually scratch that. What I want to do is kind of want to pass it to you, and in this way, this is a little bit better. So hold on, let me do this. I like the setup. Maybe you can take the UN found that inequities worsen. Intimate partner violence spikes. Girls are pulled from school. Daughters are married early, and women and girls first to their homes. Maybe that part of it we can set up. So when I say the girls often bear the heaviest burdens, and then you can say, you can just pick up from there.
Okay.
Yeah,
got it.
UN.
Got it. Yep.
Okay, cool. And the really horrific part of this is women and girls often bear the heaviest burdens.
No, absolutely. I mean, from, partner violence, from being married off too soon, from being taken out of their schools. I mean, women and girls are really the ones that are facing the most challenges, in this time of a million different climate crises.
And, I mean, we're not even talking about, first of all, what countries are we talking about? And is it just writ large across the globe?
I mean, I think it's, we're talking about many different countries and different, areas of the world. But, we see this a ton, obviously, in Central East Africa. We're seeing this in a lot of the, like Bangladesh, India. A lot of these problems, are exacerbated by the fact that when men feel inadequate or they feel they cannot take care of their family or their pride is at stake, it really, really moves the violence upwards, and it's always towards their partners. So, we see this in a lot of different situations. I definitely see it throughout the work that I'm doing in Malawi, Uganda, Kenya. Every time there's, a climate crisis or, this huge event, you have all these triple cascading down, effects, which always affect women. And a lot of these girls that are, in school, they have to go back home because now they have to take care of their siblings because mom has to get another job, or they don't have a roof anymore, so someone has to stay home and watch the property. So I think it's just so important. I mean, we hear the climate crisis conversation constantly, but I think it's so important to continuously talk about these different angles, and that women and girls,
who it actually really affects,
right? Who it's really
most.
affecting, because then we can start to see some progress and change. We can put the funding in the right buckets. We can talk to the organizations that are working on the ground doing this kind of work. So, I just I like to highlight these things because yes, they can seem very doom and gloom, but also we can do something about it. And if we direct our initiatives towards women and girls, then we know we're taking the right steps to help fix these climate crises.
Yeah, and it's just great even just knowing about it. I mean, it helps.
Yeah.
It just helps to kind of put the reality of it in front of us in a way that feels like, hopefully it does indeed bring more compassion and kindness into the equation. Something that is also fascinating, another story we were on, which more than 40 of Hong Kong's best-known pro-democracy figures have been sentenced to prison terms of up to 10 years on subversion charges, in the biggest single blow to the city's already shrinking political freedoms, following Beijing's sweeping crackdown on dissent. All 45 defendants, including former high-profile lawmakers, activists, unionists, and journalists, received prison sentences ranging from 50 months to 10 years in the largest single prosecution to date under a national security law imposed by Beijing 4 years ago. The total prison time handed down by judges amounted to more than 240 years. This is jailing people for speaking out against their governments in what was a democracy. that is no longer. And, bringing this up is to but say, this is a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
We are on a real slippery slope. And, I mean, you travel around so much as well. I think the Taiwan, Hong Kong side of things is going to be a political piece that's used, unfortunately, in a game that we just need to pay attention to here, because cracking down on dissent is going to be exactly what they hope for, what the other side in our country hopes for. This is what Beijing kind of hopes for at a certain degree. But there is a threshold. I do believe there's a threshold where Tiananmen Square, where the optics or the realities push back, and it's bigger than just oppression from dictatorial governments and things like that. I don't know what's your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, for starters, just, I've done a lot of protesting and marching in my days, but for people that live in these very oppressed countries where jail time and execution are very easily, let me start over, where, execution and jail time can come to you any day. It's not like here, where you go to a protest, you might get arrested, yes, but you're usually released. We're not dealing with it on such a grandiose level.
Yeah.
So,
detaining people for large parts of their life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I mean, between this story and what's going on in Afghanistan right now with the LGBT community, the arrests and just the sheer bravery of these individuals is what I just continue to gravitate to, because they know what's at stake. There's no, oh, maybe we won't get caught. Maybe we won't go to, what you're doing, but that's how much it means to them.
Yeah.
I mean, one of the people that was arrested, as he was getting pulled away, was just saying, "I love Hong Kong," and he just kept screaming it from the rooftop, and his mom and his family are there. Everyone's in tears. And it's just, we've just got so many beautiful, passionate people, literally putting their lives on the line every single day. Yeah. But it is also a cautionary tale. It also makes me very nervous. I mean, the more you speak out, the easier of a target you become. And that's kind of the direction I feel we're going here. So, yeah.
Yeah, liberal democracies all over the world have been under attack post-pandemic. And it's why I think it's more important now than ever. Again, there's an awakening that's coming. I get it. A lot of people are, Trump wound up not winning by that much. Turns out it was 273,000 across 3 states, and the popular vote wasn't even. It's like one of the it's down there. It's lower than most other elections Republicans won. So it's not this mandate that I think that really everybody thinks it is. But the reality is, if you give 0 Fs about the law, did I just say, if you give 0 fucks about the law, then what does that look like? And I think, protest and dissent, that's what we have back in our arsenal now. That's what we're going to have to pull from. So it is something to pay attention to and something to kind of look towards. You know? Those are our brothers across the world. Even if you don't feel it in the moment, it really is. It's our brothers in fighting for democracy and fighting for people's not the surveillance state that we whine about and everything, is about to come into full effect, and we're going to see how far that gets pushed. Where protesting, speaking out, anything like that becomes a no-no, and so. Whew, well, I'm glad we're doing it together. So I'm really stoked about that. All right, when we come back, Compassion Corner and our new segment with our resident Gen Z expert, Asher Friedberg, on Make This Shit Make Sense. Asher, we'll see you after the break.
Hi, I'm Anjali Bhimani.
And I'm Julia Bianco.
And we are so excited to be bringing you our new creative baby, the Character Select podcast.
I've wanted to save the world since I was 4.
There has been no character like him up to that point, and there really hasn't been a character since.
Every episode of Character Select, we're going to be taking fantastic video game performances and talking about what makes them tick, what makes them exciting as players, as performers, as sound designers, as casting directors.
I feel like I've been ambushed. I was here to be on a podcast to talk about a video game.
So it's a big old love fest here. That's how we start this, and you're just gonna have to deal with it. Recognized by the 2013 edition of the Guinness World Book of Records Gamers Edition as the most prolific female video game voice actor in the world.
You know it's a special project when you hold on to the people you created it with.
Careers are born by being in the right place at the right time, where you can't control the right time, but you can control the right place.
Joining us today on the show, in studio, the one and only, Cammy Dog. How are you, Cammy? How are you? Doing pretty good.
Can we get some grunts?
For those of you that are listening right now, because this is an audio medium, Cammy, our Bree's gorgeous 6-month-old pitty. And what do you call it? It's a pitty and what? It's like bulldog?
Asia's guessing. She might have some bully in her. They said she was American Pit Bull Terrier.
American Pit Bull Terrier.
But
right.
she has something else in there.
Yeah. Well, what's cool is we realize Bree's a new parent, and it comes with a host of things that they don't teach you in school. So luckily, we have the resident teacher supreme here with us, Miss Asia Nakia.
Luckily, my best friend is a vet.
And luckily your best friend is a vet. Exactly. So no, but it comes down to because like deworming, I didn't know about that. Yeah, when I was a new dad with a dog. Yeah, tell me. So spit it out.
Well, I mean, tell the folks what happened. You came in one day. Let's backtrack. This is how Compassion Corner came to be. So give it to us, Bree. Tell us what happened.
So, Asia came into work one day. I was already having a little bit of trouble with Cammy, but soon as Asia walked in, we just heard this like, and we all look over, and Cammy's just
lifted up about 1.5 feet off the ground.
Releasing is what I'll say.
Yeah, it's projectile.
Yeah, that was
like a rocket lift off.
I didn't even know a dog could do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was an impressive shootout, honestly.
So yeah, Asia.
And Cammy is eating the mic now because she doesn't want to hear this story anymore.
She's I'm embarrassed.
But she's good now. She's fixed because Aunt Asia, from across the room, could smell the poop. Apparently knew exactly what the smell was. And yeah, I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, I mean
that's
so
that's
a
gangster pedigree right there.
It is. I will say that I have a nose for poops, and it's a gift.
I wouldn't brag about that.
It is braggable.
Okay,
It is braggable. I can identify what parasitic infection a dog has by seeing and smelling their poop. Which when you've rescued over 15,000 animals, I guess it kind of comes with the territory.
Watch your feet.
But
names are dropping.
But
stats are dropping.
The lesson here is deworming for puppies is so important.
Yes.
And so many doggy parents
And don't let your dogs drink rain puddles.
Yes.
Yeah.
Lesson 2 is do not let your dogs drink rainwater. But also, so what happened with little Cam here is that she ended up with a Giardia infection, which sounds really horrible, which it can be if it's left untreated. But we were able to get her sorted with some dewormer and some metronidazole, and life is good.
She's good now.
Yeah, she's good to go. But as a puppy owner, something to keep in mind is for the first year of your puppy's life, deworming every few months is the best thing you can do for your dog. A lot of the problems that they have with their stools and diarrhea, losing weight, you're trying to figure out what's going on with them. It's usually a parasitic infection. And the great thing about dewormer is that you can find it at Walmart. You can get it on Chewy. You can find it online on Amazon. But yeah, we just wanted to bring it to everyone's attention. If you have a pup or if you have a dog that is around other dogs going to different grasses all the time, deworming your pups every once in a while is a really, really good way to keep their gut healthy and make sure they're not dealing with any kind of parasitic infection. Right, Cam?
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you, Asia.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yes, Cam.
Yes, we'll have to show a beautiful shot of you since not everyone will see your beautiful face during this.
That's right. Look at those eyes. All right. And as promised, that's right. We have a new segment called Make This Ish Make Sense. Asher. And we're spread around. We're spread around the studio here. We go from Gen X to Gen Y millennial to Gen Z to, pretty soon we'll have some Gen Alphas around this.
What is
Cammy's,
Cammy? Yeah.
Cammy's Gen Alpha, right?
That's right.
But what astonishes me all the time is there are these important stories that, like, aliens are now coming out of our oceans, and we've sort of kind of confirmed this. And it just gets swept under the rug because, because there's a Kardashian that did something, or because there's some sort of trendy thing that we don't understand. And so Asher comes in with these things all the time, and we're like, I don't get it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Asher Friedberg.
What is
Asher?
his name? Ashton.
Where
I
is
thought it was Ashton this whole time.
Ashton, I know, right? Exactly. It's
Asher.
Asher. Look at him.
Oh,
Look at him.
okay. Were you cleaning the floors again? What's happening?
Napping.
I told you to use a Swiffer, not your jeans. But
They pick up dust all the same.
Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Okay, so Asher, this week, this is amazing. You brought this in, and we were like, no, we have to talk about this on the show. So please tell us, why do we give a ish about Jaguar?
Oh, man. So first, I guess we should probably show the clip, right?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
Yeah, so that was the Jaguar commercial, and right now people on the internet are very unhappy. It's pretty much become a Bud Light 2.0 situation, if you guys remember that from, like, what was that, a year or two ago?
Kid Rock.
Yeah, so we're
Yeah.
kind of back in that situation. It's an interesting commercial, and I will say people are choosing to believe it is the end of that. That's all it is. But from what we're seeing from Jaguar, this is the beginning of some kind of marketing campaign they're working on.
Well, see, that makes sense to me because for those that don't know, explain it to the people. Go ahead.
So, I mean, Jaguar, is a very famous car company. They've been making luxury vehicles since, what is it, got to be 1940s, 50s?
Long time ago.
Long time they've been making these cars. And they are definitely pivoting right now. They've always been a little bit more sleek. They've always leaned a bit more masculine. I mean, we see Jaguars all around in LA here. I mean, if you guys see those Waymo cars, those are Jaguars,
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah, those are Jaguars. They just mod them up with all sorts of doohickeys and stuff so that they don't hit people. But, look, I also think to an extent this commercial was trying to get attention. They kind of knew what they were doing.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you don't. It's a commercial for a car company that has no car in it, and it's all just sort of stylized. And I think the fact that we're even talking about it shows that it's successful. It was successful in.
Yeah, it seems like for sure a marketing plug, right? Tapping into hot topics of conversation, buzzwords, things going on in the world. I didn't, it's a beautiful commercial.
It's a lot of style. It's shot well, but why is it so popular?
But why? But also, if you're Jaguar and you're putting out messaging like that, then I wanna see what you're about. Like, is that part of your mission statement? Like, are you helping
new versions of cars that
organization?
Kind
of like what is the vibe and what is the reasoning behind it? Because otherwise, to me, you're just exploiting.
Yeah.
All of these beautiful people for your car that you don't even see in the clip, which, there was like this moment at the end where I feel like a car could have.
I mean, they were sitting on like a stone or something at the end.
That could have been the
would have been a
car.
great opportunity for
Right.
a car. They have a plan. If it works, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
But they're clearly trying to do something, and there's been a lot of comments from various other, people on Twitter who are or X, whatever you call it, For example, I mean, Elon even responded saying something along the lines of like, "Didn't you guys used to make cars?" And they responded, he's like, "You'll see what we're making." They have a plan. They're doing something.
Okay, now actually, I think you just did it, Azure.
Okay,
now you're
that's
making it make
cool.
sense.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
so
yeah.
So it's a plug for it's a
and-
forecast of what's to come.
Exactly. They're planning something. We don't know what it is yet. For all we know, they're going to be creating a new style of their Jaguar that might be a little bit less traditional masculine that we've seen from Jaguar in the past. Or for all we know, they're going to be starting a new line of different kinds of vehicles, or could even be style.
What
For
if
all we
it's
know,
not a car?
Yeah, for all we know, the clothes they're wearing, and that could be Jaguar clothes.
Yeah, what if it's not a
Right.
car?
Porsche has a clothing line.
Right, sure. Doesn't Ferrari and stuff like that? Yeah,
They
yeah.
do.
Yeah,
My younger brother's got Ferrari cologne back at home.
Hey.
But why are people okay? So I guess because
Shout out to Ferrari.
I
A
mean,
little bit of shame.
but
yeah.
I guess the last question that I have about this is so since I haven't read through all the comments on the commercial, why are people like, is it mostly that they're mad that they didn't see a car and it's a car commercial? Or is there an undertone of something else going on online that is really pissing people off?
There's for sure an undertone of other things that are pissing people off there. I mean,
Is it
if people
because
were-
of the actors that they're using in it?
I have to assume that that's going to be a huge part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, look, they're using a lot of people who I know that a good portion of the country would be seeing as creating some form of statement, which frankly, I don't even know if I could pinpoint what the statement is in this commercial quite yet, because it was pretty vague. I mean, it was pretty much just showing all these different types of beauty from what I understood.
So it looked like to me.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't want to get too into it, but people are going to find things to complain about with everything. And when you have a
100%.
commercial filled with a bunch of people of different races and probably different sexual orientations or even different gender identities, people are going to find a way to complain about it.
Of course.
And we don't know where they're going with yet, but all the comments they're getting, they're responding in real time, saying you're seeing the first brushstroke in our new step here, pretty much.
Interesting.
Then kudos, chef's kiss, right? I feel like that's well done. When in the age where you're trying to figure like why is this the number one most trending thing in our in our country and stuff like that, when you're trying to figure out what is it. I mean, it's great. I do like the fact that it doesn't make sense, and then at the same time, if you just put it out there, they had to have known. They had to be thinking that we're going to put this out and it's going to cause a stir.
And they probably hired extra people to manage the social media in real time. They know what's up, you know?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I got one more real quick.
Okay.
So as you guys might know, Dave Coulier of Full House was recently diagnosed with stage 3. I want to say it was lymphoma.
Oh, wow.
Or at least he's stage 3 of some form of cancer. And, it's hard on everyone. Look, as someone who has a close family member currently going through chemotherapy, it's a lot for everyone, and including your family members and friends.
Sure.
And right now what's going on, the internet's a little, I think they're a little bit peeved with John Stamos. So he's showing his support for Dave he put on a bald cap.
Yeah.
And I guess he used a little bit of Photoshop to make it look better. And the internet's a little bit divided on it right now. Some people are saying that, look, however you're showing support for someone, if they appreciate it, that's all that matters. Some people think he's looking for attention.
Back to your point about people finding something wrong with everything. How can you be supporting your friend and looking for make this make sense, Asher? Make this ish make sense. Why?
Look, I think again, you're right. People are often looking for something to be upset about, but I'm also going to put my mind in the mindset of people who are upset right now. And look, part of me is like, if you want to show your support for your friend, there's a lot of ways to do it right now. If your way of showing support is to be like, hey, I'm going to look like you, then I think maybe you should commit and actually shave your head. But also, I have family members with cancer who would be pissed at me if I shaved my head in solidarity with them. So it's all a personal thing up to everybody.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people are like,
there's a picture.
Yeah, that's him.
That picture looks adorable. I mean,
they're friends.
How cool is that you're doing that for your friend?
And I think it also comes down to that's their friendship. We don't know how deep that goes. We don't know what inside joke. There could be so much involved in that. We don't understand and know everything about their relationship and what they were talking about when he did it. Like who knows? So
for all we know, is Dave's idea. We
that's
don't
what
know
I'm
what
saying.
happened.
It could be Dave's idea. It could have been for some reason that we don't know. I mean, cancer is not fun on any occasion. So however he wants to support, I can see the other side. Maybe people feel like he should have gone all the way in solidarity, shaved the whole head.
It just feels like the internet needed something to be pissed off at him about or something. That's true. That's true. Our producer Bree just said John Stamos is known for his hair. Yeah. That's very true. That's very
mean,
true.
Literally, my father was obsessed with John Stamos, not only because he was Greek,
Was
but
his hair or just John
the
Stamos?
hair. And my father rocked that hair for years. I mean, they looked
hair.
well, and maybe it won't grow back the same in all, transparency at his
Well,
age.
I mean, if he were to shave his head, we don't know what would happen to his hair, considering, for all we know, he's done everything to keep that hair perfect for the past decade. And it's working. He's doing a great job.
He's definitely
Absolutely.
keeps getting work. So shout out to John Stamos.
Yeah. I'll say
We're on your side, bro. And thank you, Asher, for trying to make this ish make sense. Yeah. That'll do it for another episode of Slap the Power. Before we head out, make sure to please like, comment, share, subscribe. That's the we make the show for you guys, and all it takes is add a subscription here, share it with a friend, things like that, and it could really go a long way.
And if you're in the Los Angeles area and you'd like to foster or adopt one of our dogs at Compassion Kind, that's another great way to help.
That's right. All right, Sonics.
Love.
Action.
Progress.
That's right. See you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye. Slap the Power is a Slap Network production. It's written and produced by Rick Barriodil and Asia Nakia. Our senior producer is Bree Corey, audio and video editing by Asher Friedberg and Bree Corey, and studio facilities provided by Slap Studios LA and 360 Pod Studios. If you're into online power scrolling like we are, don't forget to follow Slap the Power on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, and probably Pinterest soon for access to full episodes, bonus content, and more. And if you're as full of hot takes and crazy ideas as we are, please think about dropping us a review to help boost this episode, and you can help blow up the group chat by sharing with friends, family, or random shit posters on the internet you want in on the conversation. And if you're interested in being a guest on the show, please email info@slapthepower.com.
Yo!